Greetings and welcome back to the Galley of the Sun. So today is Enchilada de Barbacoa Eve. Yeah, I said that right. So here's the deal. So tomorrow night, there's a football game that I really want to see. So tonight, I'm going to do some prep to make it a very short time that I need to work tomorrow in order to have enchiladas on the next day. Just a little bit of planning ahead and you can eat fantastic on a weekday. So what we need to do today is put together the paste that we're going to put on the sirloin roast, which we're then going to smoke, and then we're going to take and sous vide until we have that just fall apart tender. Then we're going to put together our enchiladas. So tonight we make that paste to rub on the beef, and we'll go ahead and make our enchilada sauce tonight. That will give it almost 48 hours for those flavors to meld and be even more fantastic on enchilada day. So I've already done a lot of prep here. I have half an onion right here. I have 4 pasilla peppers that I've already taken the stem off and de-seeded. And here I have my whole cloves, my bay leaves. Here I have salt, cumin, Mexican oregano. I've got some apple cider vinegar here. And I've got several cloves of garlic. This is enough garlic for both the paste and the sauce. So, easy way to get those papery skins off of these, which is all I need because they're going in here and that'll turn an iPhone into sauce. They don't need to be diced up, but I do need to get those papers off. We use the mason jar trick. Remember, gain your calm, think of someone who has wronged you, and then shake the bejesus out of it. That should be sufficient. So for the paste, I will need 7 cloves of garlic. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw them in the blender right now. Okay, got our 7 cloves of garlic in there. Next thing we're going to do is bring a small pot of water to boil with the peppers in it and the half an onion. So as soon as that water comes to a boil, we're going to reserve a half a cup of the liquid, which is going to go into here to help make our paste, and we'll take out the onion and the chilies, and they will also go in the blender. And we are there. It is boiling. So I'm going to turn that heat off. We will fish out our onion and our chilies. Get that in the blender. Now we'll get a half a cup of that liquid. Right there. Get rid of the rest. Now we combine the rest of our stuff. So we got our half cup of liquid from our peppers and onions. We have our 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. We have our whole cloves and bay leaves, and the amounts are all down in the description. Don't sweat it that I'm not going through them. And here is our salt, cumin, and oregano. Oh, it smells amazing even before I mix it. Now we're going to mix that into a paste. Oh, that is going to be outstanding. So now we're going to take that paste, get it in a Tupperware canister, get it in the refrigerator overnight till we need it tomorrow, and then we will make the enchilada sauce. And this is not the way that I would normally do it if I didn't have something going on tomorrow where I didn't want to take this time. But I think it's going to work to our advantage. I think letting this set overnight and those flavors to mingle even more, I think we're going to end up with an even more flavorful paste. All right, get things cleaned up and we'll move on to the sauce. It's time to make the enchilada sauce. I got everything together. Let's talk real quickly about choice of chilies. I'm not talking about the type. We've talked about that before in this video and in the aged ground beef enchilada video. I'm using pasilla peppers because I seem somehow to have 7,000 of them in my house. I don't know how I did that. I normally like to get a variety, but everywhere I turn I see these same peppers, so I'm using those. So that last thing that we did with the paste, we took the chili and we just threw it in water, right? So it really didn't matter if it was a mangled looking chili and we ripped it into 17 pieces when we were trying to get the stem and the seeds out. But with this, we're going to toast these chilies. So we wanted to pick the ones out that were pretty straight, no big bends in them, so I could pretty much butterfly them, and it's going to make it a lot easier to toast them. So keep that in mind when you're working with chilies. Are you boiling them? Take the ugliest, most mangled ones out of there. It doesn't matter if you break them into a bunch of pieces. They're just going to go in the water, get boiled, get softened, and then go into your blender. But if you're toasting them, you want to get the ones that look like they belong in a picture, nice and straight and even. That way you can go right down the side and then open them up, and you have a lot less things to turn when you are toasting them. So I've got my skillet already going on medium heat. This doesn't take long at all, okay? So let's get the peppers in there. And we're just toasting them until we get that nice chili aroma throughout the kitchen. Doesn't take more than a minute, 30 seconds, somewhere in there. And then they're going into the blender. You definitely don't want to leave them in too long because you don't want that burnt flavor. Oh, and I'm smelling it. Not the burnt flavor, the good chili flavor. Yeah, and also, you know you've done it right when you turn them over and you can see that the oils have been released. You can see that little shiny part there. You won't get it on all of them, but some of them you'll see that. It's again, toast, don't burn. I'm happy with that. So these are going into the blender. All right. Next thing we're going to chuck in there is an onion. We're just going to real rough cut this thing and let the Vitamix do the rest. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, our garlic cloves, and then a teaspoon each of sugar, Mexican oregano, cumin, and chipotle chili powder. That all goes in. And then 2 cups of beef broth. I love the better than bouillon stuff. Great, great taste there. I look around the kitchen. I don't have anything else that needs to go in there. It's good to always do that last check. Now I get this good and mixed up. All right, that'll be good enough. Oh, smells great. All right. Into our Tupperware container. All right, we're a step closer to delicious enchiladas. Tomorrow, we'll cook the sirloin. Somehow, for the last 6 minutes I've been talking to you, my camera wasn't on. So let's review what I talked about. So first of all, the term barbacoa. So these are smoked enchiladas de barbacoa. Barbacoa is a term that came from the Caribbean. In contemporary Mexico, barbacoa type cooking means you're taking a huge bunch of meat, whether that is beef or a whole goat or sheep, and you're either cooking it over an open flame very slowly, or you're digging a pit, putting coals in there, putting your meat in there and covering it with agave leaves. Barbacoa is where the term barbecue came from. And that's more like what we're doing today. So what I have here is about a 2.6 pound top sirloin roast. And I've taken that paste that we made last night, which smells freaking amazing, and I made sure that I've covered the entire roast with that. And then, to make sure I know what the temperature of my roast is, I put in my wireless meter probe, which is going to tell me when this thing hits 165 degrees. So once it hits 165 degrees in my smoker, which is set to about 225 degrees Fahrenheit, it's going to not take any more smoke flavor. The outside of the meat will actually be about 212 degrees. That's the point. You're not getting any smoke in there. So what I could do, what you do with something that you want pull apart, like a brisket or pulled pork, is leave that out there on the smoker, maybe wrap it in some foil, leave it out there till it hits that magical temperature of 203 to 205, bring it inside, let it rest for a while, and it's going to fall right apart. That takes quite a long time though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it off the smoker once it hits 165. Then I'm going to take this beautiful roast and I'm going to put it inside of a bag. And then I'm going to seal that bag. And then I'm going to take that bag and put it in a bath of water. And I'm going to maintain that water at exactly 133 degrees for about the next 24 hours. Now, this thing will never see the 203 to 205 degrees I was talking about, but keeping it at 133 degrees for 24 hours is going to give us that same effect. Plus, all the liquids that come out of this roast are going to stay in that bag right next to the roast. The moisture that's left in this paste when I pull it off the smoker is still going to be there. So we are going to have an amazing, juicy, pull-apart beef to put in our enchiladas tomorrow. So now it's out to the smoker. So our sirloin roast is at 165 now. It's been on the smoker for about 5 hours. It has gathered plenty of smoke flavor. Oh, it smells absolutely amazing, but it's only going to get better. So we're going to take our roast and we're going to stick it into this bag. And then we're going to get that vacuum sealed. All right, so we're vacuum sealed. We are not going to lose an ounce of liquid from this thing. So if you don't have a sous vide in your cooking arsenal, you certainly should get one. If you catch it at the right time on like an Amazon day or Black Friday, you can get one of these for as low as 79 bucks. I think I paid 99 for mine. Incredibly happy with it. So this water bath is at exactly 133 degrees. We're going to set that bag in there. It is fully submerged. And now that sits there until right before we're ready to make our enchiladas tomorrow. And it is going to be tender AF. You will not believe it. We'll see you tomorrow. Oh, alas, it is enchilada day. We got some things to do. First thing we're going to do is get our cheese shredded up. So what I'm going with today is the Oaxaca cheese. Or, if you're a little bit more cultured, Oaxaca cheese. So we're going to take this and get it shredded in preparations of joining friends to become an amazing dish of enchiladas. Oaxaca is a very soft cheese and it melts very, very well, which is exactly what we want in our enchiladas. What I have here is 2 10-ounce packages. So our beef has been in the sous vide, held at a constant 133 degrees Fahrenheit for about 18 hours. Now bring it out, set that bag on a towel, and let it cool for just a little bit. You can see that all those juices that came out of the meat are still right there. They're right there in the bag. Okay, now we take our meat, dump it in a pan here. Make sure we keep all those juices. Tastes absolutely delicious. I'm going to get that shredded right here in this pan so the meat sets in the juices, and then we'll move on to the next step. We have our beef all shredded. Now, I'm going to have to amend the recipe because 2 days ago I made the paste that we used 1 day ago to rub on the outside of the meat. And when I used that paste, I had about half of it left. And as I took it over to the sink to get rid of it, just aroma hit me again. I just cannot get rid of this stuff. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take the paste that we didn't use. I'm going to mix that right in with this beef because there's too much incredible flavor in there. The onions, the chilies, the garlic, the cumin, oregano. It's just too damn good to lose. So that there will get all mixed in with our beef. We're looking good. Now it's time to assemble. Here's what we're gonna do. So last 2 times that I've made enchiladas, I've used flour tortillas. And I said on there, it's because my family prefers flour tortillas. Some of my Hispanic friends question that choice. And I'll tell you what, with the beef enchiladas I did before, the aged ground beef enchiladas, I have to agree with them because those pretty much disintegrated. The chicken enchiladas held together real well, and I think if I did it again, and I will do it again, I'm going to use flour again. But for these beef ones, we're going to use corn tortillas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to warm up my enchilada sauce, and then I'm going to drench my tortillas in that sauce to get them a little pliable, and then we'll assemble into this cast iron baking pan. Why am I using this? Because this is going back in the smoker. So enchilada sauce is warming up for the tortillas. I've got a thin layer of enchilada sauce on the bottom of my pan to keep the tortillas from sticking to that. Okay, so we got our tortilla with the sauce on it. First we'll hit it with a little bit of cheese. Not going to go too crazy because we want to have plenty for the top. And then hit it with some beef. And man, I love sour cream in my enchiladas. The way that melds with the spiciness and earthiness of the enchilada sauce is just incredible. So we got that. Get it wrapped up nice and tight and placed into our pan. And we repeat. Okay, after I did my second enchilada, I realized that I'd help myself a little bit if I warm these up first. If you don't have a tortilla warmer and you love Mexican food, or as our friends to the south call it, food, you should get one. These are fantastic. So, now we're much more pliable. Getting the sauce. Nice and coated. Also, if you have a Mexican grocery in your town that has a tortilleria, do yourself a favor. Get your tortillas from there. Absolutely amazing. Fresh and right there as well. There we go. If you have a second person, this is messy. A second person to give yourself the line of sour cream. It will either cut down on your mess or cut down on your hand washing.
A lot.
Either way, it'll save time. We ended up getting 12 enchiladas in there. I have a little bit of leftover meat. I'm just going to put that along the top. There's no way we're going to waste that. Then I'm going to put about half of my remaining cheese on there. That's super soft, melty Oaxaca cheese. And then we're going to hit it with the rest of the sauce.
Yummy, saucy, saucy.
And then another layer of cheese on top. Once again, just like with the aged ground beef enchiladas, if you're going to cook this in the oven, then now cover it with foil, put it in a 350-degree oven, let everything warm up and mingle for about 30 minutes or so, then pull the foil off and let it go another 15 minutes or so. We're utilizing the smoker. So in order to get that smoke flavor in there, we're just going to leave it open. So out to the smoker, I have it set at 250 degrees. I'm going to let this go for just about an hour. So after about an hour on the smoker, take a look at that gorgeousness. That Oaxaca cheese melted perfect, giving us a beautiful, beautiful dish. All right, the moment of truth. See if all of our planning and hard work panned out for us. Oh. Absolutely amazing. Give this one a try. So if you like what you saw today, please hit that subscribe button. Leave us a comment. How do you cook your enchiladas? And hit that like button. I had something else to say, but I don't remember what it was. Until next time, fair winds and following seas.